Welcome back to the StarCraft 2 World Championship Series Asia Finals. Jorisar and Grobby bringing you another epic best of three. And we have game number one here on Daybreak between two absolutely epic players. Grobby, who have we got playing?
We've got the Taiwanese sensation Sen from Team Gamania going up against CJ.herO. It's Taiwan versus Korea, Zerg versus Protoss, CJ.herO versus Gamania. Sen, of course, being known already on the international scene for quite long. herO, also known as herO Join, also known as CJ.herO, is relatively new blood on the StarCraft 2 scene.
But he's certainly making a very good impression, man. He has torn his way through the winners bracket so far. And I think Sen's actually going to be a really big challenge for him. A couple of people I spoke to before the start of this tournament were like, oh yeah, the top Chinese players can probably take out Sen and all of the Koreans can take him out as well. And then Sen just sort of showed up and started proving people wrong. Don't forget, this is the kind of guy where he plays a lot of his games in the Taiwanese leagues, it's true. But at the same time, people don't often see that much of him. He is still practicing very regularly with a lot of Korean players, and I think he's one of the guys here that can potentially take games off any of the Korean players that are currently in this bracket, which is why this series, to me, is going to be so amazing to watch.
Yeah, definitely true. And we see already Sen taking a pretty big decision there. He's not afraid to go for hatch first, and it's possible because herO came in with the probe, stayed for too long, didn't go here at the 2-minute mark to try and block that. It's actually really okay to go hatch first, especially since there's building blocker here, they're invisible, and there's also building blocker here with the supply depot, which is not invisible, which is why I can click it. So that means like forge cannoning this hatchery is going to be not only hard, it's also just super unlikely because almost no Protoss opens up with forge instead of an Nexus on Daybreak. So this is going to give Sen a little bit of a macro lead, and sometimes we see hatchery first into gas because if they feel like, well, I took an early macro lead, now I need to get speed links in case you try and punish me. Actually, hatchery first is not punishable by Protoss unless they're going to go for proxy gate or try and cannon it. That's just it. Hatchery first will give you an advantage, and you can just go for your third hatch, no problem, no need of gas.
Well, which is why you go for that Nexus first on Daybreak as well, because guys, for those of you who maybe don't see this map so often, those destructible rocks there in the middle of the map actually make the rush distance north and south of it deceptively large. So you're thinking, well, the rush distance should be okay on this map. It's actually a lot further than it looks,
yeah,
and
it's
that's
not okay.
what allows you. Yeah, that's what allows you to get away with that kind of thing.
Yep. So they're both just going to go for an expansion as their very first building, besides, of course, the pylon. And was I casting the CJ.herO game with you today against the Zerg?
Yes, we were.
Against the Ian.
Yes, that's right. We've done that already today.
So we had that was on Daybreak, and Daybreak, no, the Blizzard version doesn't have match history blockage. Alright, so anyway, if herO doesn't mind doing the same build twice in a tournament, which, well, reasonably, if you want to go far in a tournament, you're probably going to end up doing it.
Yeah.
He might be considering once again to do something like the Speed Prism double Immortal drop, which was super cool.
I want to see that again, man. That was like play of the day for me by far.
I told Artosis about it, and he's like, oh my god, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
Like, he just wanted to go see the game right now.
Yeah, I watched his eyes light up when you said that. The way those Immortals were microed on the bottom left to take out that Spire, and the way that those Zealots were warped in that perfect arc. herO, oh, I'd love to see him do that again, man. But different game, different circumstances. I'm sure that build is in the back of his mind. He obviously has practiced that, like, a million times, because otherwise he wouldn't be able to execute it so unbelievably perfectly.
Yeah, give or take a couple of 100,000.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly, something like that. So we could very well see that out on the map again. Only the one probe being sent out. We don't really have a backup popping out here, and the Sen already has a Zergling on it. So not too much he has to worry about quite just yet. Sen actually has a decent amount of map vision right now as well. He's got the Overlords on both the north and south locations. So if we do have a Warp Prism pop out for any reason, then Sen's actually in decent position to intercept it at the moment.
Yeah, there's very little avenues of unscoutable paths. It's all the way here at the north and here over this area, but Protoss always avoids this area because there could be Overlords there.
Yeah.
We do have a Warp Prism. Oh,
it's
the robo
going.
bay. I mean, the build order looked like it a bit because he got so fast 3rd and 4th gas, and he got the robo in the same position, and there we go with the robotics bay.
I think if we get Colossus drops, like Dan's head would explode.
Yeah, it would actually just explode like a watermelon. There's no doubt about it.
I suspect we might not be seeing it quite that quickly, though. A couple gateways being added on now from Hero, and we do have an Immortal queued up after the Warp Prism, so looking pretty good here. Wow, he really wants to protect that Robo.
It's the exact same way as he did it before, with a total of 6 extra gateways making 7. He's going to put 2 Immortals in the Prism. He's going to research Gravitic Drive.
Gravitic Drive, yep.
Gravitic Drive, and then he's going to be able to warp in 7 Zealots. Now, what this Immortal is, what this Observer is doing, it's not really Immortal, it can die rather easily, is checking the best point of insertion.
Yep. That's why it's on patrol as well. It's like, the layer is about to finish, so give it about 10 seconds and it will finish, but a Spore Crawler might take out the Observer here, and in conjunction with the Queen, now that does actually set Hero back a bit. The reason this timing is so unbelievably frustrating for the Zerg player is that the War Prism with the Immortals just happens to show up right after the tech structures go down after you get the layer, and it's incredibly frustrating if you lose that, like we saw in the game against Ian earlier today, Grubby. But now, we don't have the location of the tech structures, so Hero is going to have to guess, and the Warp Prism is spotted in the middle of the map, so this is not as good as the one we saw earlier today.
So, that's true. It gets spotted earlier because Hero had his own Telnaga tower before, but it's like he doesn't really care about showing the Warp Prism. He just wants to get from A to B as soon as possible. Look at that. He's just dropping right on top of the roaches. I'm sure Sen didn't expect the double Immortal drop here. Oh no, miscontrol! Whoa.
There we go.
Alright.
Watch out!
Oh no!
Oh dear.
Alright, but he's actually doing quite a mighty fine job against the roaches thus far. That was such a big loss though, losing that Immortal.
Yeah, that's absolutely huge. I mean, the firepower against the roaches was so great there, and Sen doing such a smart thing, targeting down the Warp Prism, just saying, look, if you're not going to warp anything else in, this has to end very soon. And Sen actually fending that off with, I would actually say quite easily, the Infestation Pit, untouched. The Hydralisk Den, untouched. Pathogen Glands is now beginning, and Sen has a supply lead now. He's at 118 versus 84, and I think he's just feeling quite comfortable.
Of course, the supply lead is normal, but just to compare with the game of Hero against Ian, Hero killed 19 drones.
That's kind of useful.
He killed a Spire, he killed Queens. This game, he killed 0 workers, and he did not kill any tech, and then he lost an Immortal. So he is so far behind compared to what he did against Ian. Of course, it wasn't ever going to go as well as that, but it didn't have to go as badly as this either. That
is true. So we've now sort of hit both extremes, if you like, in that regard. At least he didn't lose the Warp Prism and the second Immortal along with it, but he's going to have to find some way of integrating that into his army in such a way that keeps Sen at bay for a while, because Sen is feeling so comfortable right now, very openly taking his 4th base in the center of the map against Hero, basically saying, look, I saw how much gas you had invested in this attack. That's a speed prism there. You had 2 Immortals in it. You were constantly warping in Zealots as well, so it wasn't like it was the Immortals and nothing else. Where is your money to stop my 4th base coming from? And right now, nowhere.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's not going to be coming from anywhere. We only just have the 3rd base coming up. We've got 62 probes, a pretty healthy amount, but 91 drones from Sen, and that's another message from Sen that he can definitely send now. It's definitely something he can afford to do.
10 more drones as well? We're going to go into triple digits here.
Well, of course, he's making spines, so...
Spine crawler push in the center, presumably. He's going to move those through the center channel and take out the destructible rocks when he can.
And now he's going to get that prison killed. Of course, there was nothing in it. Hero was just using it as a super fast scout. A little bit of a drone miss micro sometimes by Sen. He does have idle worker key, but not doing anything with them yet. Now, Hero, he used his Warp Prism in the game before to reinforce as he was doing a Colossus attack. However, he had faster second attack upgrade. He's now only just starting it, and he also had so much more other advantages. He's probably still going to do the attack, but it's not going to be nearly as scary as it was before. Yeah,
Blink is about to finish though. It's going to give him a little bit more mobility. 3 gates are also about to finish, and he is making another Warp Prism. And since you've invested in Gravitic Drive, you might as well give it a shot and continue to keep your opponents on his toes. I don't disagree with that one bit. More upgrades coming out of that Forge as well. And in the meantime, I think we're going up to Hive from Sen's point of view, and that's going to coincide quite nicely with the Spire finishing as well.
Yeah, and Sen knows that he's doing very good economically. He is in fact on 88 drones, so he has started to make spine crawlers in his main base. He's finishing his spire and his hive. He's got a little bit of DT protection here and a ton of spine crawlers at the front, along coupled with 14 infestors. This fight is going to be very difficult for Hero to make work. However, the good thing is there are no corruptors. Actually, this might go fairly well for him. There are no corruptors whatsoever. It's going to be purely the infestors to try and kill this off. However, that's a task they like to do.
Yeah, the problem is that these stalkers can't blink back once they're fungal, and there aren't that many zealots to sort of tank the damage, so infested Terrans later on from Sen could potentially start taking out the Colossi before the Corruptors get anywhere. 7 of them are on the way though, and there's more than enough energy on those infestors from Sen to actually stall for time for now. He just needs to make sure this hatch stays alive. Another group of reinforcements coming in from Hero here. 17 roaches and 7 Corruptors. Is it going to be enough to save this hatchery? The infestors are dancing around, not wanting to get picked off here. Has Sen bought enough time?
And there's not much energy left on these infestors anymore. This is going to be a pretty nice position for Hero. So many roaches are stuck behind there, and the Colossus are going to be flanked by the infested turns. One Colossus will go down to this roach attack here, and the Corruptors are finally coming out. But I think Hero, actually, I think Hero's going to win this fight, but will he win the war?
Oh, this is going to be... Oh wow, Hero blinking forward there as well at the correct opportune moment. Now, there are no more Colossi out on the field here. Sen stalling for time, able to get those roaches and those Corruptors out, allowing all of those Colossi to go down. But what is he going to do with the sheer number of Stalkers that are here? This is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, Hero needs to press his advantage right now. He needs to go before potentially Broodlords could come out or too many infestors, and I think he's going to do just that. He's going to be in a pretty good position. There is enough energy for a Guardian Shield. There we go. The front line of Stalkers is going to go down, and actually this is going a lot worse for the Hero than I expected. Sen able to macro well enough to get a lot of units here and close the distance with those Stalkers, and Hero might have lost critical amounts of units there against Sen's units. At this time it's time to go Greater Spire. There we go. Good choice by Sen. And he's also mining very comfortably off of this 4th base, which Hero does not know about at all. Ooh, so he's actually less far ahead than he expected.
That is going to be pretty darn useful indeed. Sen taking that 4th, I guess it was his 5th, but taking that base in the top left position without Hero's knowledge, and he's actually now at a 70 supply lead. But as important as that, he's at a 70 supply lead at the phase of the game where Sen is getting his Greater Spire, which is normally the time when Protosses love to attack into Zerg and say, you have supply cooked up in Corruptors that are doing nothing, haha, I'm going to do some amazing amount of pressure. But that's not happening right now because Hero was just defeated in an engagement. So Sen has the freedom to go up to Broodlords and keep his supply lead. That is huge for our Zerg right now.
Yeah, I mean, you said it, man. I'm just not going to say anything else. That was definitely true.
And corruption going down on the Warp Prism just in case it doesn't die to 5 Corruptors, so fair enough there. Sending this hit squad and then charging him for the bullet as well. Brutal was that execution. And he's going to slowly push out towards the center of the map, probably rebuild some spine crawlers as well, I would imagine. And I'm so surprised Hero is taking out the rocks in the middle of the map, Grubby. I really am. Yeah. Because normally you take out the rocks in the middle of the map when you get to a point where you know, right, I can constantly resupply, I'm going to be at max, I'm just going to keep reinforcing and kill you. But he's down 50 supply, and then he killed the rocks and ran away. What?
It's not like it's going to take that long for Sen to kill it, but usually when Zerg is killing the mid rocks, I use the opportunity to try and do something else. Flank or anything like that.